requesting annexation into Caldwell Municipal Irrigation District. If that was to happen, would this property
We should subdivision consisting of 35.30 acres, more or less, to be subdivided into 134 residential lots and 15 common lots for the property located at the east side of South Florida Avenue, approximately 2,000 feet from the north of Karcher Road, parcel number R3273-390100 and R3274 in Caldwell, Idaho is approved with conditions as outlined.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval by Mr. Pollard. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McGee. Any further discussion? Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Allgood,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper, Walton.
Yes.
A motion is approved unanimously for approval of Bucha subdivision SUV 20P01 with the conditions as outlined in the staff report. All right, thank you very much. Is there a motion then to close this public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second? A motion by Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. Hopper to close the public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Nay? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, that moves us then to, since both items were approved, to action item number 5, which is to consider bill number 5, ordinance number 3264 regarding case number NN 2001, again known as Bucha's annexation. This is brought forward this evening with a request to waive the rules, pass it on its first reading, and to approve a summary for publication. I will read this bill by its title only and ask for council's consideration. This is bill number 5, ordinance number 3264. An ordinance determining that certain land lays contiguous to the city limits of the city of Caldwell, county of Canyon, state of Idaho, and that said land should be annexed to the city of Caldwell, Idaho, as part of the R2 medium-density residential zone, declaring said lands by proper legal description as described below to be a part of the city of Caldwell, Canyon County, Idaho, directing the city engineer and planning and zoning director to add said property to the official maps of the city of Caldwell, Idaho, repealing all ordinances, resolutions, orders, or parts thereof in conflict herewith, and directing the clerk of the city of Caldwell to file a certified copy of the ordinance and map of the area to be annexed with Canyon County, state of Idaho, and the Idaho State Tax Commission pursuant to Idaho Code, section 63215.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Pollard.
I move that we waive the 3 reading process and consider bill number 5, ordinance number 3264, and first reading by title only.
Thank you. Is there a second? A second. Motion by Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. McGee, to waive the 3 reading process, consider bill number 5, ordinance number 3264 on its first reading by title only. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Allgood,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Walton.
Yeah, thank you. Rules have been suspended.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Pollard.
I will sponsor bill number 5, ordinance number 3264, move for its passage by title only and approve the summary for publication.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. I have a motion by Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. Wagner, sponsor bill number 5, ordinance number 3265, move for its passage on its first reading by title only and to approve the summary for publication. Any further discussion? Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Allgood,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Walton.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Bill number 5, ordinance number 3264 has been passed unanimously by the Caldwell City Council on its first reading by title only, and then also approved the summary for publication. Thank you very much. All right, that completes all the old business, on today's agenda, and moves us to item number 1 under new business, which is also an action item. This is a public hearing, also quasi-judicial in nature, known as case number TE 2002, a request by Kent Brown on behalf of Trilogy Idaho LLC, requesting an 18-month time extension of the Pennsylvania Park preliminary plat, originally approved September 4, 2007, for the purpose of completing the 4th and final phase of the development. The request for extension includes only properties R35290 and R352900013, located north of Skyway Street and west of KCID Road. I will declare this public hearing open and ask for staff reports.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Councilman. This request is for a time extension for phase 4 of Pennsylvania Park development. The Debbie Root, senior planner, 641 Cleveland Boulevard, for the record, I have been informed.
Thank you.
So, I provided the council with, the subdivision ordinance review and hearing requirements within the staff report. This development has, experienced the history of multiple time extensions since its, first conception in 2007. And again, this is the 4th and final phase of the property that's left in ownership of the applicant. With that, when considering a time extension, there were three general requirements to consider, and that was that there are no outstanding city code violations on the subject property, and staff did not identify any outstanding city code violations. That the preliminary plat as previously approved is still in the best interest of the health, safety, and general welfare of the city. With that, the proposed phase number 4 residential units will be adjacent to industrial development with significant truck traffic, potential noise generation, further development of single-family residential immediately adjacent to our industrial parks and industrial properties may result in compatibility issues that were not present when approved in 2007. In 2007, the property that's located south of this development, this proposed phase 4 development, was also part of the Pennsylvania Park subdivision and was to be developed as residential. Currently, this phase would be, bringing the property adjacent to Skyway, Street, and on the other side of the development is the, large development of Capital Distributing, which is also intending to expand their operations. Currently, they have a 230,000 square foot structure on the property south of Skyway Street with the intent to expand that facility to 600,000 square feet in the future, according to people of the economic development. So with that, staff said, there have been no significant changes to the city code between the date of preliminary plat approval and the application date is the third criteria. That there has been significant industrial development in the area, that there is the potential risk of continuing to develop residential properties adjacent to those industrial parks and in that industrial area that the city is quite proud of creating and providing for these big businesses to locate to. So the proposal for the time extension for phase 4 was consistent with the preliminary plat that was previously approved, but there have been changes for the council to consider. I'll stand for questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Root?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Hopper?
Mr. Since the original preliminary plat did go all the way to Skyway Street, and Skyway Street would have been part of that buffering between industrial and residential, are you concerned that the new property line doesn't have enough of a buffer on it to accommodate that change in use?
The staff's concern is that the developer sold the property south of Skyway Street, which would have, it was also proposed as residential, but the residential proposal for phase 4 does butt up to Skyway Street. The Capital Distributing truck entrance is located there in the southwest corner. Yes, and there's significant truck traffic coming from either KCID or they can come up around Sneed Parkway. KCID is a more direct route in, but it's not a signalized intersection currently at 2026, so it may not be the best route out, but it's my understanding that there was, when Capital Distributing initially developed there, that there was a lot of truck traffic flowing on KCID down against the residential properties that are there a little to the south. The new fire district, station number 3, will also be located there on the corner of KCID and Skyway, on the southeast side there. And so Yes, there was a concern that maybe the buffer is not significant enough and that there could be, potential for buffering to, alleviate some concern of compatibility issues that may eventually develop with Capital Distributing, expanding their site as well. And that buffer can go both ways. The Capital Distributing also provided another buffer, but that does not buffer the truck traffic on Skyway Street.
If I may, I think if you go back and look at, the original conditions for Capital Distributing, I think they are aware that they need to provide a buffer here.
There is a buffer in the development agreement, yes.
I believe that they have to provide a buffer here. And I think it's also fairly clear that the truck traffic has to enter here in order to stay off of KCID because of the concerns. As you know, there is a signal up here at Smead and Highway 2026. And so I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was contemplated when this property was purchased for Capital Distributing, because we knew it was in the neighborhood of some residential. So, as you know, down here where they've already developed, there's a fairly significant buffer there on Capital Distributing side. And so I believe, if we could go back and, I don't know, can't right now, but I believe that, I mean, there's buffering down here. I believe they're anticipating and expected to put in buffering here when this next phase develops. I also believe it's required that the trucks enter here and stay off as much as possible off KCID Road. Weren't you involved in that, Jeremy?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I actually had a comment, I don't know if you had anything else.
Right. No, I'm done.
So, yeah, I actually worked on that, so, and I understand, the concern comes from staff, that, when you're planning things, you don't wanna put, a big, smoking plant next to a residential subdivision, or industrial next to residential, you wanna be careful with it, but I guess the concern I have here is that we are kind of the ones that created it. We're the ones, they obviously have to keep formulating requests, but the city council approved going to industrial, Southwest Skyway. So the concern is now if we change that to industrial, and we say, well, now that we change that, you're at the bluff on the north, I think it sets a bad precedent in that regard. I know that there is some additional buffering there, Pheasant Run is directly to the east as well. It started out as a custom home, subdivision, but obviously above that industrial that the city council changed. It's been 2 or 3 years now, and that there is additional buffering there. So, yes, you want to be careful, but I think that there's been plans laid out and conditions we knew this was gonna happen in the future, and that they were gonna have the residential there, so we accommodated that, because like I said, it was city council to change that, right, to industrial, from residential, back on.
So,
Mr. Rob?
yeah, Mr. Mayor, so help me out here, because I wasn't clear from the maps of the packet what phase 4 really is. Is phase 4 just this area here, or is it from this area all the way up to here? Because most of the maps we have come quite a ways into here, and not just what's that there.
It is just the 2 vacant parcels there that are, those 2, yes, the 4th final phases of that.
Okay, so this is built out, and so what you don't see is the phase 4 gets all of it, does it get all of it?
No, the property to the south of Skyway Street is what's been sold to.
Right. So this is what is no longer part of the subdivision.
Correct.
This area here gets all of its access off of Skyway, nothing from
Correct.
the state.
KCID.
Yes, correct.
If it's coming off Houston, they better go
Yeah,
along.
I know, they got a long way to go. All right, made up quantities. So that's why the concerns about Skyway mixing traffic, there would be no option to get there to KCID.
And I'd also like to state that staff did question engineering and reviewed the development agreement to see, were the trucks restricted from using Skyway, or KCID from 2026 to Skyway Street, and they are not. So they can use KCID to come into the site, even though their access point they would have to turn at Skyway and come in through the distribution, the receiving route that's located on Skyway, but, and that was the concern with the truck traffic with the adjacent housing on Skyway.
Any other questions for Mr. Sir?
I was just looking through the notes of previous and the development district, and I'm curious if this applies to where we're at. It says, city council approved second time extension with 2 conditions. All final plats for all phases shall be recorded no later than September 20th, 2016. No further time extension shall be allowed. Is
That was the city council time extension for, that sub 172E07, so the original preliminary plat, yes.
And it says all phases of Pennsylvania Water subdivision?
Yeah.
Does that apply here?
Well, subsequent time extensions were completed, the ordinance, subdivision ordinance allows for an administrative renewal. They've taken full advantage of time extension.
This, again, the original, subdivision was at the beginning of, downfall of the economy in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I think because of that, there were, shall we say, there was an understanding that those subdivisions just flat didn't move forward during that time. The economy shut down for several years. And so I don't know for sure, maybe Mr. Waterman can weigh in on that. But I know the ordinance does allow for extensions approved by the city council, so. Mr. Waterman?
Hey, Mr. Mayor, what, Mr. Warren, when we did make that change, you know, when it mentioned back when, the code did only had 1 period, given by the city council, so we reviewed that and it just didn't make sense, so it was changed after that to allow new and unlimited as long as it's approved by the city council.
Mr. Waterman?
That's why I'm 324 by Dewey, in Idaho, and I acknowledge that this morning. Yeah, our city code allows for as many time extensions as the council may like. If the council says it's the last one and a prior one, that's not going to bind the council, and preclude you from granting additional extension.
That answers Mr. Waterman's question. Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Ruth?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Carlson?
This property is, zoned R2 now, right?
I'm not sure. Well, can you click on the line here?
What it
I
says
think
here.
it is, I believe it is.
So I'm just wondering, does that, R2, does that include fourplexes and whatnot? Because that may be a appropriate type buffer to, put next to the industrial with all those things.
There are 2 zone does not include for fourplexes. They do have, there is a strip of, R3 zoning that buffers between the park and the things, but that is not what's proposed with the preliminary plat on phase 4, or the final plat on phase 4, although they have not made application for that yet.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Ruth? All right, thank you. Ken Brown?
For the record, Ken Brown, 3161 East Springwood, Meridian, Idaho, and I have been sworn in and sworn out. Everything else. So, yes, we got this approved at the absolute worst time, and the economy went this with it, and things didn't happen, and phase 1 took an extra long time to get done. We've been pretty consistent over the last couple of years of bringing phases in. Worked with the city with the extension of Skyway, through the property, and, the part that I think that makes it, really good for us is that the city, since our original approval, decided to put, the park next door. Great place for residents of Lebanon, yes. We've always had, from the very beginning, industrial users to our west. And those were also down to the south. Now, specifically on the south side of Skyway, no, they weren't originally there. But those have been approvals that the city council since made. We're looking at, we've got approved plans. We're moving forward with phase 4 under construction right now, and trying to meet the goal. There's a condition that we be recorded by a certain time, and that's one of the things I'd like to talk to you about, is that it's kind of difficult to meet some of those timeframes when I don't have control over certain things. I can be constructed, and we're trying to work through engineering and other places to get the plat signable. Then your ordinances require that I basically be 100% billed or bonded for, with the major 5 items being done before staff can accept my application for a final plat and then get on a hearing. My recent experience with that earlier this year was that it ended up taking me 5 months from when I submitted, but it took me 3 weeks after I was told we were moving forward to get to the next hearing. And so those kind of delays end up being out of my control when the condition says I gotta be recorded by a certain time. I can control construction and we can take responsibility for us not being done, but then there's certain things that I don't have control of, and was wondering if there was some other wording that we could put instead of recorded, signed by the city engineer, or to a point that the city engineer used the word near completion or something, because I can't get recorded until the city council hears it. I don't know when it's gonna go to the city council, and I'm being told currently with the 3 plats that I have in for final plat, that, staff is looking at fixing this so that it becomes a little easier, but the current process, just, I'm standing here going, I'd like to get recorded, but I can't get recorded, and so it's kind of difficult for me.
I guess the answer to that question right now is unfortunately, no, we can't change the wording because the ordinance requires that. However, as you mentioned, we're gonna be holding some workshops here soon to reviewing that. And so hopefully we can get that changed. Part of the delay in hearings so far, we backed up hearings for several months during the COVID thing when we had no public hearings. And so I apologize for that. That's something that's also
Totally
out of our control too as well. But on the other hand, we are looking at the final cut process as well as a couple other issues that we're taking into consideration to just expedite things. So thank you for that, and duly noted.
So in my time extension, it says I have a date when I have to be recorded, and that's why I brought it up. But I've been working with your staff trying to take care of the final part, but so I'm looking at that and going, I can't guarantee that I can be recorded then. So I guess the process would be is that I then turn around and submit another time extension.
Correct.
And since I'm doing that, it has to be, city council.
As far as I know. But again, unless we're taking a look at those ordinances,
Okay.
that could change between now and 18 months. And hopefully will.
And for me to do that, I had to have a neighborhood meeting with no one
Showed up to.
showing up to a care, so I was doing it. But it's cumbersome. It's the thing. And I asked it to extend it where I've got intentions on being done. The same landscaping buffering that we do on KCID is the same buffering that we'll do along the Skyway. It's the same buffering that we do along all our major industrial users are like anybody else. Certain times they come and they go, and I happen to live near the busiest intersection in the state. For me, I'm 1 house away from Eagle Road and St. Luke's Hospital, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I can be anywhere in the valley pretty quickly, and I'm kind of used to the noise, the fire engines and fire trucks are the ones that, get my attention, all the rest is kind of background.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Brown? Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Brown is the only one who is signed to speak at this public hearing, so are there any questions for staff or Mr. Brown, or is there a motion to close the public testimony portion of the hearing? Motion to close public testimony. Okay, is there a second? Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. The public testimony portion of the hearing is closed. I have to submit just simply the staff report, sign sheet, and the aerial of the, property. That's all three things I have. Do you have anything else, Mr. Bartlett? Okay. Is there approval to move, approve the evidence? Thank you. A motion by Mr. McGee, second by Mr. Carlson to approve the evidence list as presented. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. I assume that we also need to, on this one, I don't think we need comprehensive plan analysis because all that was done with the original approval, right? So we just need to simply, either approve or deny, correct? So, that is before the council. I think you have a motion, proposed motion in the packet. Mr. Mayor? Mr. Wagner, and this will be for the order of decision, correct? Correct. Okay. So I would make a motion to approve case number TE 2002, request by Trilogy Data LLC for an 18-month time extension for permanent plat of Pennsylvania Park subdivision. Conditions, I'd like to modify somewhat. 6.2, Pennsylvania Park subdivision number 4 shall be recorded within 18 months of the signing of the order of decision by the mayor, or unless further time extensions are approved by the city council. 6.3, as stated, all landscape buffers, pathways, and open space development completed, then strike 6.4. Okay, so motion to, I can't repeat what you just said, but I think you heard it. For approval with those condition changes, is there a second? A second by Mr. Carlson. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper, Colton,
Yes.
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Hogan.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The extension request has been approved with the change in the condition described by Mr. Wagner. All right. Thank you. That completes that public hearing. Excuse me, is there a motion to close the public hearing? So moved. Motion by Mr. Aldridge, second by Mr. Hopper. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. Public hearing is closed. That moves us then to action item number 2 under new business, which is also a quasi-judicial public hearing, which will be conducted in the same manner as the other ones this evening. This is known as case number CMP 2002 and CON 2003, a request by Renison Companies Incorporated to amend the comprehensive plan from industrial to commercial and to rezone 23.6 acres, including parcels R35140 and R35142 from M1 light industrial zone to C3 service commercial, subject to development agreement. The proposed mixed-use project will include multifamily units and commercial business pads. The subject properties are located at 520 North 16th Avenue and 2505 Franklin Road, Caldwell, Idaho. I will declare this public hearing open and ask for staff to make a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Councilman. Debbie Root, Senior Planner, 621 Cleveland Boulevard, and I have been informed.
Welcome, and go ahead.
Thanks. As indicated, the applicant is requesting to amend the comprehensive plan from manufacturing and production to commercial service for 23.6 acres, including parcels R 35140 and 35142. Concurrently, they're requesting a rezone from M1 light industrial to C3 service commercial for the purpose of creating a multi-use residential and commercial development on the property located adjacent to the interstate and stage trucking right now at 21st Avenue and Franklin Boulevard, Franklin Road. The development is proposed to be multifamily with significant open space and buffering and landscaping with a cluster of commercial development at the corner of 21st Avenue and Franklin Road. The hearing examiner recommended approval with a, condition that the northeast or northwest portion of the property, have a secondary access out to the west before development occurs there. The site is surrounded by, both commercial, C3 property, C4 freeway commercial property, and M1, light industrial. This piece of property is currently, being utilized as a cow pasture. You come up on the intersection there off the freeway, and, has significant slope to it, not really a prime industrial location due to the slope and access constraints that are there. The, multifamily development use of that, is consistent with the multifamily that's being developed on the, northeast side of the freeway. There are some industrial uses there where the commercial fueling network station is, and some trucking to the west of this development, which has some concerns. The other concern would be the feedlot, sales yard is also located to just the south and west of this property. The development or the property to the east of the stage truck stop is also being proposed. We have an application for, commercial development. They too will be coming in before the council to, develop a little bit more commercial on that property versus just a truck parking. So, there were not, there was discussions with engineering regarding the access points, and those have been outlined in the, engineering memorandum to address their concerns with that. I believe they require a traffic impact study for this, property, and we'll have mitigation of any concerns that may be there at that time. Staff is recommending approval of multifamily development, encouraging that there is a, alternate access point out to 16th Avenue from the west boundary of the property at some point. And I'll answer questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions from Ms. Ruth? Okay. Any questions at all? All right, thank you. All right. Brian LeQuinn, is that how it's pronounced, sir? Or did I mess that up too?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Good evening. My name is Brian Liquin from Reynolds and Companies, 410 East State Street, Eagle, Idaho, and I have been sworn in.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here. Start by saying, just like, we've spent a ton of time interacting with Debbie and Jerome and Rob and the team, and it's been such a great experience, really strong staff here, and for that matter, just your efficiency leading the meeting tonight is impressive, so we appreciate it. As has been the case throughout, Debbie's made my chore here tonight pretty easy, coupled with the fact that we think we've got a pretty cool project to share. I'll make it fast though, because it's getting late. Yeah, let me grab that. All right, so we'll just bounce through this quickly. So an important note about our team, we're a local team of developers. The Pacific Companies, many of you are familiar with, I hope. They're a leader in multifamily housing projects, and we collaborate with Pacific Companies in different capacities on a number of projects. We've done a lot of work with them. And one thing to point out here is, you know, they have a proven reputation of bringing high-quality projects that they own and operate long-term. So this isn't a turn and burn type of thing. It's important to us that, we develop a very nice, product, and, we have to keep our future tenants happy, so, as well as the surrounding neighbors and community. And then a little about our company, we're based in Eagle, we're a full-service, small development company, so we're helping in this capacity as co-developer and, planner and engineer. And you've seen where the project site is located, just at a glance, no need to rehash, we're seeking, rezone and comp plan change with, multifamily and commercial. Just pointing out the, 30,000 square feet of commercial that's shown there, there was a little confusion last time. That's, 30,000 square feet of building, not land area. Existing zoning, this slide just kind of shows what's around us. So, existing zoning is M1, light industrial, and you can see some of the compatibilities around us. The Hope Plaza Apartments, really nice looking development there with the traditional neighborhood. Nothing but residential across the freeway. And then in terms of the service, and commercial, we've got that down to the southeast and extending further southerly. This is existing zoning, M1. Proposed zoning, going to C3, service commercial, to tie in to the south there. The comp plan, existing comp plan, of course, manufacturing and production, and we are proposing to change to commercial and service. So why C3? A lot of coaching from Debbie and Jerome, that's why. But we arrived at this because it allows us the most flexibility primarily, especially where we're going after the multifamily housing. And so, along with that, we understand, we comply with the R3 high-density residential, and it works well for this property. What's so cool about the project, is that it's a really unique piece of property in terms of, shape and also topography. And so what do you do with it? And, what's feasible? And, in terms of the topography alone, you've all driven past on the freeway, plenty. There's a mountain, if you will, in terms of a developer's mind on the southeast corner, and then it slopes off, somewhat drastically, and then there's the north to south, there's kind of a dividing line, and then it picks up again, but there's all this natural separation and buffering that exists with this, between the canal and the, wide interstate frontage, the topography of the south, and as the project lays out, and I'll get to it, a clear separation of uses here that we feel is nicely buffered while still providing a great experience for future retail, commercial, possibly office tenants in the southeast, sitting up on the hill. So this slide shows multifamily residential through the majority of it, and then the commercial at the southeast corner. And then just real quickly, I'll run through some of the bells and whistles. Typical architecture of a Pacific Company's Renaissance project would be something like you're seeing here, a contemporary craftsman style architecture. There's, obviously everybody's seen what is going up across the freeway, and we're not interested in that. We want to bring something that's nice and really helps improve the community here. One clubhouse is proposed, and it'd be full service with all the amenities for the tenants. This slide shows, kind of cool slide, shows all of the walking pathways, ton of outdoor space. It's easy to kind of lose the scale of this project. It's 23.6 acres, and a lot of outdoor amenity, buildings arranged in a garden-style cluster. The entry, primary residential entry at the southwest corner off Franklin Road would be full turns, and we envision some long meandering, entryway with plenty of, vegetation, really kind of welcomes and separates, through distance and, greenscape. And then, it's kind of hard to see where this one's at, but centrally located north and south, there's kind of a blue stripe on the slide there. That's just a natural grade break, and so, just a slide here to show, we've dressed that up. Typical of the types of little touches we put to a project like this. You see 4 proposed play areas nestled into each one of the garden style clusters, and at least 2 picnic and shade structures. Other thing to note, all this is quite conceptual. We pulled this together a few months ago, but we did it quickly, as we were trying to get our application together. We tried to find something that would be, very, very compatible with the layout of the site, and still, generally speaking, meet all of the requirements. Fencing along the entire western boundary, along with buffer zone landscaping, et cetera. Site access. So there are two accesses proposed, at the moment, right in, right out, for the commercial piece. And we have a decel lane down there as well. We've worked with engineering and, as I said, Debbie and Jerome as we've looked at that, as well as the primary access for the residential piece, along Franklin Road, and then some connectivity within. And then, as was expressed at the hearing examiner meeting, there's a desire to have an emergency access, safety access somewhere in the northwest region. And so we jumped on that, and we've been talking to neighbors, and there's 2 or 3 options to be determined, but we understand that's something that would benefit the project and our project as well, so we're working on that. So just kind of wrapping up here, project benefits brings much needed housing. Some or all of it would be workforce housing, leaving some of it to potentially be market rate housing. Excellent access, you can't beat it in terms of immediate access to I-84, of course, but it's also just a short drive or walk to campus and to downtown. It's a great way to capture jobs and people right here in Caldwell with something that they're proud of. Really nice development where they can live and work. Clearly a beautification of the property with the amenities that we propose and the style of development that we would bring. And it's consistent with the comp plan. Things like creating neighborhoods where citizens can live, work, and play, fostering distinctive, mixed-use developments, and of course, the community connectivity. That's about it. With that, I can take questions.
Thank you. And for the record, the presentation from Mr., would you pass your last name again?
It's Lakeland.
Would be labeled CC 1000. Okay, any questions for Mr. Lakeland?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Carlson?
Mr. Lakeland, where on this would 16th Street come in?
Oh, I better go back to, yeah, we've got only one slide. Sorry for that. Let me get back here. So, Facebook pointer guy. Was that on here, right? Facebook pointer too?
It would be,
Oh, there you
16
go.
right here.
There we go. Yeah, so that's 16th Street. This is a road called Elgin, right here. We've looked at some things. There's, you can see we have a drive aisle. Basically, I'll trace the drive aisles in this vicinity, right? So we've got these proposed drive aisles. There's the canal up here. There's, you know, the challenge is there's not right of way that comes all the way to our property anywhere on the west. So something's got to be worked out there. But we've spoken with this property owner you know, so there's a feasible connection here. There are also emergency access, only connections, you know, that you can envision something here, you can envision something here, as well as here. So, point being, we started that, dialogue on the 15th of June. We met with, engineering and P&Z staff again to discuss what the options are and how this might look, and then we followed up with the neighbors, and, you know, ball's kind of in their court at this point for option A, but options B and C, and, you know, maybe some other options exist as well, yeah.
Within that, are these buildings going to have sprinkler system in, on protection?
I'm gonna turn my head and default to John real quick. Do we typically sprinkler these?
Not all of them, but some of them do require.
So some, but not all, right?
With that in mind, then I have to really encourage you with the, secondary access off of the one end there, because this is right in the middle of two fire stations. And Caldwell has a great fire department, but they're small. And when you have big buildings, if you don't have that additional sprinkler system in there, it would be great to be able to get those people in there as quickly as possible.
Sure, good point. I should also note that, and you guys can see it in your packet there, but, one requirement that was pointed out to us early on is that to avoid, kind of a ho-hum development, the city wants to fold in a development agreement for our project, which we've done, and, Jerome and Debbie just cranked on this thing for us in the last few weeks with us, and we've been back and forth, and the note about bringing an access point somewhere in the northwesterly region there is baked into the development agreement, which is in turn one of, you know, a set of our conditions of approval. So that's something we understand that is important, and we'll certainly bring the project.
Thank you. Other questions for Mr. Lickman? Mr. Wright? So kind of going off of, Councilman Colton a little bit, so, and I think that we're focused towards the residential replacements, so are you saying there will be duplexes in this development, if you're not gonna sprinkle all the residential units?
No, these will all be, they would almost entirely be planned for three-story apartment buildings. As I understand it.
I'm guessing some of the buildings that won't be sprinkled will become commercial, and I would guess all the residential will be sprinkled.
Before I say yes to that, I'm just gonna get the nod from John. That's right, there we go.
Okay, and I think, you know, that the commercial are very close to that access, some of those that may not, I guess, if they're under 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, right.
One other question, and I appreciate the detail, on the landscape plan and everything, and now you're aware that there's a condition of approval says, look, you made it look this pretty, you're gonna build it this pretty. And I'm sure you acknowledge that. And so kind of my question is along, the interstate, obviously there's lots of cars that go up and down, you know, always concerned about our gateway streets and making sure that they look good, in that regard. And so it calls out for fencing, so I guess which type, I know there's different ones in there, there's some rail fencing, some solid vinyl type fencing. What type of fencing are you putting along the freeway there? And then also, and I think I know the answer to this, but just to make sure we're on the same page, is that in the, keep going a little bit, see the blue up there in the north?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking that's just showing the waterway, but I just want to make sure that that's maybe not something different. So just clarify that, and then what type of fencing you propose along I-84.
You bet. Good question. So fencing type there, to be determined, I guess, is how we would put that. We want to do, what's going to work best, to act as, you know, sound and aesthetic buffer all the way around. Just really hadn't made it that far. We also have some work to do with, the canal company too, to, you know, we need to pin that down. So the blue was our designers, we were sort of fudging with this very preliminary plan at the time. We were sort of fudging landscaping up into the area that we probably can't quite sneak up into there, you know, it's the access easement for the canal. So he had just, since we sort of pushed landscaping and parking up as far as we could, we'd have to dial that back a bit, or, you know, reach an agreement with the canal company. But anyway, he was just doing that for clarity to show that water exists there. There's a spot down near the Franklin Road, right in, right out, where he also highlighted the blue. But is that sufficient? We'd certainly work on the fencing through design review.
And Mr. Mayor, just maybe one follow-up. In regards, if you'd be opposed to a condition that, maybe not saying what the exact type, but it needs to be a side securing solid fence along a freeway there. I don't know, other councilman's thoughts on that, just like you said, as a ground barrier and things like that, or are you wanting it more than open?
Yeah, so, you know, I can look to John again, we can sort of comment on that, but, you know, one thing we do have is the grade differential. Even if you put a solid fence, you're gonna be looking right over the top of it. I don't know that we're opposed to a solid fence, but maybe that's the best answer there. It could certainly help at the ground level, remediate noise, to the residents, so that's, I think that's agreeable, or I would prefer to leave it in the to be determined category, just in case we come up with some other awesome idea, but, probably okay either way.
Mr. Coulson?
In our, planning for freeway expansion, are they planning to put up a retention wall on the other side?
On the other side, but this could change it on the south side too, so that's up to ITD. This isn't even funded, this piece yet, so they're still in the, environmental assessment stage.
So that may happen there as well, if it's development.
Yeah, ITD could potentially put that in. Okay, any other questions for Mr. McQueen? Okay, Mr. Matt? You have a comment regarding that? Yep, please come forward. Were you sworn in? Were you sworn in, Jerome?
Jerome Knapp, 631 Caldwell, Stephen Boulevard, Caldwell.
Have you been sworn in?
I've been sworn in.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, I just wanted to clarify a couple of things for you. In regards to the wall, that area, wall was not going to be considered. What we discussed is that the berm that would likely come in that area, if you go to the development agreement, we have a couple of things to be done different. One on 2.3 is called planning. Within that area, we provide some guidelines and standards and amenities for this project. We did not mandate, but we did was guide the most expected design of this development. So as you can see here, from A to M, is the directions we've given the developer as he moves forward into developing this project. And then on page 10, we have the architectural design guidelines, which we work with the developer as well. So the idea is that as we continue going through the design phase, before they build a permit, we'll be scrutinizing these development agreement guidelines into how we actually finalize the design of the project. In particular, Mr. Carlson had a question regarding fire accidents. Part of this agreement is that there's about 500 units we have total. The second phase of the development will have to have secondary access before permitting the issue. So as we discussed, 264 units is in the first phase.
given the, developer some direction what we're going to have. And by the way, the materials that the developer is using is also in the development agreement. So if you want to get an idea of what this would look like, we have that architectural rendering. So we'll be scrutinizing also the design concepts in the final agreement. Any questions?
Thanks. Any questions for Mr. Mack?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, that concludes everybody who has signed up to speak.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr.
I
Hopper.
just have a question of, engineering, Mr. Donald, is 16th and nearest public right away to this project on that northwest corner, is there no steps or anything through cellars or anything like that? I'm assuming that's the case.
Let me just pull it up real quick and we can. Mr. Mayor, Councilman Hopper, we have, it's a little bit small to see here. This is the proposed site. Over here is 16th Avenue, and this is Elgin that goes all the way up here and ties into 10th Avenue. There is a section of right-of-way that, comes out right here, that is I can't remember the width, I believe it is at least a residential standard width. And then it ends right here on the section line. And so, I think, in my opinion, this would be a good area to continue that on and tie it into the subdivision. Coming in through up here may be an option as well, but it kind of depends on, you know, what this business is going to permit coming to their property. So to answer your question, there is no right of way adjacent to the parcel, but, you know, there's a little section here that it looks like maybe was the intent at some point to continue.
Seems like it's in our best interest to try to do something where there's multiple ownership of those parcels in that area that I think are hindering development potential for some of them. So, I know we've had issues with some of that before.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you. Are there any questions for, staff or anyone who has testified? All right, hearing none, is there a motion then to close the public hearing for the public testimony portion? Thank you, motion by Mr. McGee, is there a second? Second by Mr. Hopper to, close the public testimony portion of the hearing. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Okay, we have two different decisions that we'll be making tonight. First is the comprehensive plan amendment. That will be the first item we'll take into consideration, and the findings of fact will apply to both that as well as the rezone. So I would submit for your approval the findings of fact as follows: the sign-up sheet, the staff report, the aerial of CMP 20D, 202. Okay, we want 20D, that's my handwriting, 22, and ZON 2003. That's probably, yeah, this is the evidence, I'm sorry. And so CC 1000 is also the presentation from Brian Liquid. I apologize, that is the evidence was presented to you.
Move to adopt the evidence as presented.
Thank you, sir. Second? A motion, Mr. Hopper, second by Mr. McGee to approve the evidence list as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Now we'll go back to the comprehensive plan amendment. So there is a comprehensive analysis in your staff report.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Hopper.
I move to adopt the comprehensive plan analysis found in Roman numeral 5 and 7.
Thank you, sir. Second? A motion, Mr. Hopper, second by Mr. McGee to approve the comprehensive plan analysis in the staff report under Roman numeral 5. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion Motion carries unanimously. Findings of fact,
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Hopper.
the mayor and city council accept the facts outlined in the staff report, public testimony, and the evidence that we just approved, all about the city ordinance standards and codes reviews, evaluating the application. I would note there was no opposition to the application's request for the zoning change or development.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Allgood. So motion by Mr. Hopper, second by Mr. Allgood to approve the findings of fact as described under 6.1, and also noting that there was no one in opposition. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously. Conclusions of law.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Allgood.
the mayor and city council has the authority to hear this case and recommend to the Caldwell City Council that be approved or denied. Public notice requirements were met, the hearing was legally noticed and posted, and the hearing was held and conducted under the requirements of Idaho Code and city ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion by Mr. Allgood, second by Mr. Carlson regarding conclusions of law. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously. Conclusions are approved. Order of decision.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Carlson.
based on the findings of fact, conclusion of law, Caldwell City Council hereby orders that case number CMP 2002, a request by Remington Company Incorporated to amend the comprehensive plan from manufacturing and production to commercial and service for 23.6 acres, including parcels R 35-140 and R 35-142, located at 520 North 16th Avenue and 2505 Franklin Road, Caldwell, Iowa, is approved with conditions listed in the staff report.
Thank you. We have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Pollard. Again, this is a motion for approval of CMP 2002 with the conditions as outlined in the staff report. Any further discussion? Will the clerk call roll, please?
Colton.
Yes.
Pollard.
Yes.
McGee.
Yes.
Allgood.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
Hopper.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the approval of CMP 2002. That means that we can move to the zoning request. So again, in your staff report, there is a comprehensive plan analysis.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Hopper.
I move we adopt the comprehensive plan analysis found on memo 10 and second.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. A motion by Mr. Hopper, second by Mr. Wagner, to approve the comprehensive plan analysis as outlined in the staff report under Roman numeral 10. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously. The comprehensive plan analysis has been approved. That's found in the staff report under Roman numeral 10. Findings of fact.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Hopper.
Caldwell City Council accepts the facts outlined in the staff report, public testimony, and the evidence list presented in this case, all adopted city ordinances, standards and codes for use in evaluating applications, and recommend again that there was no opposition to the result.
Thank you very much. I have a motion regarding findings of fact from Mr. Hopper. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Wagner. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously. The findings are approved. Conclusions of law.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Allgood.
Caldwell City Council has the authority to hear this case and order that it be approved or denied. The public notice requirements were met, the hearing was legally noticed and posted, and the hearing was held and conducted under the requirements of Idaho Code and city ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a second? I have a motion for conclusions of law from Mr. Allgood, second by Mr. Hopper. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously. Conclusions are approved for the rezone. Order of decision? Mr. Mayor. Mr. Wagner.
Make a motion that we approve, case number ZON 2003, First Remington Company, for rezone 23.6 acres, including parcels R 35140 and R 35142 from M1 light industrial to C3 service commercial. Again, this is for the property located at 520 North 16th Avenue and 2505 Franklin Road, Colorado. That would be with conditions outlined in the staff report. And just to speak briefly to that motion, Mr. Mayor, appreciate the detail that was shown in the drawing, and of course, the conditions requiring that those details be enforced. I think we've seen other projects in the area that maybe didn't have quite that detail, more they were an allowed use that was able to go in, so we weren't able to have the purview of looking at it, reviewing it, and seeing exactly what's being proposed. So it's kind of nice that we get to be a part of this one. can to make sure that it's gonna be developed as they state. You know, I had a question about the fencing, I'd feel comfortable allowing them to work with staff in regards to the way the conditions are written to do what's gonna be best out there in that regard. I think it buttoned up pretty well, kudos, and, you know, to Jerome and to Debbie for that, working with the applicant, so that would be my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second the motion and also second the, sentiment about the quality of the presentation. That's really good, thank you.
Thank you. A motion by Mr. Wagner, second by Mr. Hopper, for approval of case number ZON 2003, request by Renison Companies Incorporated rezoning 23.6 acres, including parcels R35140 and R35142 from M1 Light Industrial Zone to C3 Service Commercial, with the conditions as outlined in the staff report, and duly noted both the comments saying attaboy. I think those are both attaboy, if I'm not mistaken. You've heard the motion. Is there any further discussion? For call roll, please.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Colvin,
Yes.
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee, Alden.
Yes. Thank you. The order of decision has been approved unanimously by the Caldwell City Council. Is there a motion to close this public hearing? Second by Mr. Motion, Mr. Allgood, second by Mr. Hopper. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Hearing is closed. All right, that moves us then to the companion document, which is known as Bill number 17, ordinance number 3275. This has been brought forward this evening with a request to waive the rules and pass it on the first reading, also to approve the summary for publication. Bill number 17, ordinance number 3275, an ordinance determining that certain land lays within the city limits of the city of Caldwell, county of Canyon, state of Idaho, and that said land should be rezoned to the C3 Service Commercial Zone, determining that said change in zoning is in the best interest of the city of Caldwell, Canyon County, Idaho, directing the city engineer and planning and zoning director to amend said property on the official maps of the city of Caldwell, Idaho, and repealing all ordinances, resolutions, orders, or parts thereof in conflict herewith.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Hoffman, Mr. Fowler.
I move that we waive the three reading process and take bill number 17, ordinance number 3275 on its first reading by title only.
Thank you. Is there a second? A motion by Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. Hopper, to waive the three reading process, consider bill number 17, ordinance number 3275 on its first reading by title only. With the first call roll, please.
Pollard, McGee,
Yes.
Alden,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Colvin.
Yes. Thank you. The rules have been suspended unanimously.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Pollard.
I will sponsor bill number 17, ordinance number 3275, move for its passage by title only and approve the summary for publication.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion by Mr. Pollard, second by Mr. McKee, to sponsor bill number 17, ordinance number 3275, or move for its passage on its first reading by title only, and to approve the summary for publication. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Pollard,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Alden,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Colvin.
Yes. Thank you very much. Bill number 17, ordinance number 3275, been approved unanimously on its first reading by title only and summary for publication. All right. Then that moves us then to the next item, which is the finance report.
Just a minute.
Mr. Allgood.
Spent a lot of money, this is a long one.
All right.
The finance committee has reviewed current accounts payable in the amount of $6,410,195.48 for a period ending July 1st, 2020. The net payroll of $399,888.96 for pay period ending June 6th, 2020, and the net payroll of $380,385.13 for pay period ending June 20, 2020. I move that accounts payable amount of $6,410,195.48, represented by check numbers 146393 through 147088, and payroll in the amount of $399,888.96, represented by check numbers 34619 through 34640, and payroll in the amount of $380,385.13, represented by check numbers 34641 through 34682, and direct deposits be accepted, payments approved, and vouchers filed and announced to the city clerk.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Allgood, second by Mr. Pollard, to approve the financial report as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? financial report has been approved unanimously. Chris, you sure know how to clear a room.
Yeah, start talking numbers.
All right, council report.
I wanted to leave.
Mr. Pollard.
Only to say that as usual, the city put on an exceptional fireworks display, for the citizens. I think we'll see it from my porch. And it was a tremendous effort on the part.
Thank you, Mike. Mr. Carlson.
I'm, just a little bit concerned with the COVID epidemic. I am concerned that there are a lot of people not taking this nearly as serious as it should be, and numbers are not going in a good direction. And, I guess it's just a concern.
Thank you. Again, just for your benefit and also the audience, I'm in constant conversation with, Dr. Zog at Southwest District Health and our staff. Matter of fact, I was thinking here just a minute ago while we were meeting, and it was a text from Dr. Zog. So that communication is happening all the time. That being said, I'm back up to Mike's comment, just because it relates to yours. We did submit a plan to Southwest District Health for the Fourth of July fireworks. It was approved by Southwest District Health. Of course, you saw the advertisement that talked about face masks and social distancing, recommending folks if they have, any concerns to stay home, encourage them to watch it on the patio or from a car. And I can tell you if you attended, which I know both Councilman Wagner and I were there, I don't know if anybody else was, but
I was there.
Chris, you're there, the social distancing was respected. I mean, families were spread way apart, with blankets probably 15, 20 feet between families. And so I was very pleased with that. There were not as many people as usual, which is to be expected, which also helped with the social distancing with those. Some wore masks, some didn't. And also the safety services were there and helping and answering questions. So it was really well done. And the traffic flow afterwards was exceptional, getting people moved onto their homes. So duly noted, and we did continue the city-sponsored travel ban, I guess, if you could call it, for city employees out of state, and we're extending that to September 1st, just so you'll know that. We'll discuss that tomorrow morning before officials, but I did send out that email a while back. We're all copied on that. So we're extending that to September 1st. So we're trying to do our part as a city. If the governor moves us backward, we'll have to evaluate that. Okay? Thank you, but duly noted. Let's see, that would be Mr. Hopper next.
I know, Mr.
Okay, Mr. Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a note on the railroad, again, I appreciate, I know that there's some effort put to make them even bigger and better this year, kind of make up for what we missed, and I know I appreciate that very much, as well as everybody that was there, so thank you for that. And we were sitting with a group of missionaries from our church, and I mean, these guys are from all over the country, Florida, California, wherever, and every one of them said, I have never seen a fireworks show like that. So, I mean, these are big things these guys come to, so it's cool to hear that and see that. Then also just a shout out to our police force, you know, they're out there. It's neat to see them interacting, and they're great with that, and just keep that, they are community driven, and that is huge, especially as we see them today. They just do a great job of reaching out and being a part of the community, so kudos to them.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Mr. Albee.
Well, I was gonna remark on the fireworks too, because my family, me and my family go every year, we love it. But this year was pretty exceptional. The company who had to do it this year did a wonderful job. It was fantastic. So, anyway, thank you. It was a great event, great work.
Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. And again, back to both your remarks, you know, without the parade, without the typical things, we did want to make sure that we had a exceptionally good fireworks. It was about 25 minutes long this time, which normally it's around 20. And so it was nice to have those extra few minutes. And I'll tell you what, the grand finale was truly a grand finale. It was amazing. So yes, I agree with all the comments. All right, so that, Mr. McGee. All right, well, I'm gonna take a really long time with my remarks. I'm joking. kind of crazy competition. Again, I just want to wish everybody a happy Fourth, happy birthday to America. I just love this nation, I love this city, I love the people we get to work with. I'm proud to be an American. I can just, as you can see, I keep got my tie, I get to wear every now and then. So, I want to thank our staff, those that work so hard. This meeting went so well tonight. Thank Pastor Porter and his wife always being on hand, and I know that you were also filling, even though it's on the agenda, with your name, that was due to a cancellation. I would like to just also acknowledge, the national anthem was exceptional. At the
That
fireworks.
little scratch, somebody was off a little bit, I'm not sure. It was a mailboy.
It was a mailboy, No, my granddaughter, joined me singing the national anthem this year. She is 16, it's her first time singing for something like that. She's got a lovely voice, but she was, her knees were literally knocking on her. She was so scared, but it turned out extremely well. But, you know, that's kind of what makes the flavor of this whole event. You know, last year we had, a young lady from, I think, the high school was sang, and it's just amazing, the national anthem and the talent we have in our community. And also, just to add to that, I had a couple from Washington, D.C. come up to me afterwards and say, wow. I've received several emails saying, wow. And, the consensus was just phenomenal for the fireworks this year. And so, same company will be doing it next year, and hopefully they can follow that up with just as good a display. So, happy Fourth to you all. I have no further business. With that, is there a motion to adjourn? Second? Motion by Mr. McGee, second by Mr. Pollard. All in favor, please say aye.